All right, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing time so far. Our next speaker is Jay Koganti. He is the Vice President Supply Chain COE at the Estee Lauder Companies. Please join me in welcoming Jay to our virtual stage.
Thank you. Let me share my screen and we can get started. Hello, I'm Jay Koganti. I'm a supply chain practitioner and digital transformation lead. I'm very happy and super excited to be here today. Two topics very close to me, supply chains and artificial intelligence to power supply chain transformation. I'm very excited to share my perspectives and ideas here. Let me set the context by numbers here. Global supply chains power global commerce. If you look at US economy, the biggest in the world, supply chain activities contribute $1.45 trillion. 450 million workforce globally runs the supply chains. 8 supply chains, where food, fashion, FMCG, electronics, and automotive together, they contribute 50% of greenhouse gases. Even in US itself, every year we fill 300 million tons of trash for landfilling. All these numbers matter as we progress through this conversation. When we look at post-COVID world, there is a resurgence in the digital channels. 40% of buying now shifting to online. 66% of consumers willing to pay more for sustainable brands. Together, it's a $37 billion opportunity in 2027 for better and efficient supply chain management software, even US itself. Let me set a little more context, looking at post-COVID world. These are unprecedented times. Supply chain is in news every day, whether it's a demand volatility, supply line disruptions, clogged ports, or increasing cost. They're all in the news. These are all in a post-pandemic world. You could really see there's a shift in the supply chain, the way we operate, run supply chains. Demand volatility is unprecedented across the product segment. We talked about supply line disruptions, persistent shortages from basic commodities to high-tech chips. On top of it, there is a clear acceleration to digital channels, and coupled with this heightened consumer expectations on the delivery promise and friction-free commerce. In this experience economy, key shopping movements drive growth for many businesses. Not necessarily being in the spotlight is a bad thing. This is also biggest opportunity for supply chains to move to the next generation. At the center of this opportunity is AI transformation. Globally, it is expected social and economical transformative opportunity of AI is $13 trillion to $20 trillion. And supply chains are in the front and center of this opportunity. What is AI for supply chain? It's not a bunch of programs or a specific software. It is an ecosystem powered by abundance of data, whether it's a consumer preference data, stored data, or the demand or marketing data, abundance of this data and limitless storage. Economies of scale coming from cloud computing, bandwidth, edge computing, and democratization of the algorithms, advances in machine learning, sensors, drones, GPU computing, 3D printing, IoT, all together form core of this AI ecosystem for supply chain transformation. When I reflected on global supply chains and the emergence of AI ecosystem to support this transformation, 7 pivots come to my mind. These pivots or imperatives are really groundbreaking how we move to next generation. First and foremost, signal-driven demand forecasting. Given the demand volatility, managing demand is top of headset for every supply chain practitioner. AI offers unprecedented opportunity here. Connected enterprise planning. Execution is never out of fashion. At the same time, managing risk and building resilience is top of our mind in these times. AI-powered control towers, sense and responding is also core to this. Interoperability of connected network, whether it's a vertically integrated or horizontally aligned, is also super, super critical in the post-pandemic world. Sustainable supply chain network, circular and socially conscious. And finally, digitally native AI talent is central to make this transformation effective. Our biggest opportunity is transitioning from a discrete problem solving, which we are doing last couple of years. Now AI power is to transition to end-to-end supply chain process optimization. In the next couple of minutes, we'll speak about these opportunities. First and foremost, signal-driven demand forecasting is such an important aspect of AI transformation. Predictive models are always at the heart and soul of the AI-powered demand planning. It is triggering a renaissance in the demand planning process across the board. Whether it's a big data combination of data availability, like I spoke about consumer preferences, the store data, the internal data, whether it's a marketing, promotion effectiveness, all this together, the big data is propelling some of this signal-driven demand forecasting. On top of it, fit for purpose AI models. It's ensemble of models, tree models. Now we have a wide variety of choices to make a fit for purpose modeling. And AI democratization and machine learning advances widely available. Together with this, explainability of AI, where we could really understand and come out of the black box to a more transparent way of doing forecasting. All together creating great opportunity to leverage AI as a forecasting tool within the supply chains. The couple of areas really come to forefront. How we model different causes and conditions to predict the demand, not only to predict, to shape the demand. And these models are always learning and improving the accuracy in continuum. And detecting the micro outliers to emerging trend sensing. And on top of it, humans are always this in the front and center of forecasting process. How do you augment that human intelligence to decision empowerment? These are the important aspects of signal-driven demand forecasting. The next very important topic I'm very passionate about is connected enterprise planning. Historically, traditionally, most companies operate in a functional silos. Whether it is a sales planning, demand planning, marketing planning, it's very hard to connect them. Even our traditional IBP, S&OP process doesn't help much. End-to-end enterprise AI as a backbone is our biggest opportunity. Whether it is a product segmentation, clustering using AI, or predict unmet consumer needs using AI, or effective marketing, campaigning, and promotion planning, and intelligent product assortment and optimization, or intelligent product recommendations and substitution, especially in these times of acute product shortages. They all could be backed by AI-powered engines, and they could connect enterprises together, one unified end-to-end connected enterprise planning. The enterprise connected planning is not just a planning, it is a contextualizing the data. It is also moving from a black box optimization to more transparency and glass box machine learning, what I call it, and connecting the invisible dots within the enterprise and outside. And finally, this is about convergence of planning and analytics coming together to make whole planning process very powerful and effective. The third pivot is It is the top of most of the chief supply chain officers' mind, how we manage risk in this post-pandemic world. How do we create a shock absorbent supply chains? Risk is now a fourth dimension on top of traditional cost, cash, and service. This is also about shifting our mindsets from a risk averse to risk informed. It could be macro, micro, but emerging risk detection. This is also a probabilistic mindset, looking at the options, choices, and remediations. This is also about building resilience and structural agility central to this execution excellence. Three levers could be powered by AI in execution excellence: anticipate, predicting risk, both micro and macro, and prioritizing them; preparing in terms of scenario simulation, evaluation, and acting upon it by execution automation and monitoring. Together, it's always learning and improving. AI could be a very powerful engine behind the execution excellence. As part of this AI execution excellence, AI-powered control towers, sense and response is a very important aspect. Whether it could be a centralized AI-powered control towers or more decentralized non-linear sense and respond parts, whether it could be a warehouse, transportation hub, or shop floor, how we could make planning and execution converge in real time, making decisions at clock time and execution at light speed. This is a very important aspect of AI-powered control towers. The next opportunity is interoperability of enterprise network. Traditional collaboration models are not very successful. Traditional CPFR, VMI models are partially delivered the value they proposed. In these times of heightened customer promise on last mile delivery and managing OTIF penalties, we need to do something different. Interoperability is core to this. This will really compel us to go beyond traditional data sharing to interoperability of networks among the trading partners. Cloud computing is central to interoperability of network. Unified data standards, blockchain-enabled sourcing transparency, IoT-enabled shared assets, platform commerce, open APIs, all together form an ecosystem of interoperability. It is a connected networks of networks, multi-partner collaboration, both vertically and horizontally, and inter-enterprise optimization. This is a very big opportunity powered by AI. Sustainability is the top of everyone's mind. 8 supply chains globally contribute 50% of greenhouse gases. Looking at our ambitious 2050 targets of net zero, supply chains need to do a dramatic shift. When we look at whether it's an intelligent ingredient substitution, AI could be a big play there. Track and trace, recycling of the packaging material, product design itself, or a general waste elimination across the supply chains, or intelligent carbon accounting altogether powered by IoT, blockchain, sensors, 3D printing. They could give unprecedented opportunity in making our supply chains sustainable, not only sustainable, circular, and socially relevant and conscious. Connecting glue for all this is new supply chain talent. Digitally native, AI savvy, they could really make this transformation effective and powerful. This is also connected to the ways of working changes. When we hire the talent, opportunities are more profound. Virtual, hybrid, augmented reality, other forms of working could attract a new talent to the supply chains. These new talent bring algorithmic knowledge. They are mastering the data. Also, using these skills turns information into actionable insights and decision science. We need to watch out how this new talent fits with the old, whether it's a culture, structure, operating procedures. Also, this is not about a AI geeky knowledge. It's also about softer skills about bridging the gap, AI translation, explainability of AI, and ability to tell a story. Finally, rewiring the organizations for interdisciplinary supply chain talent is very vital for these transformations to work. It's a divergent in ideation and convergent leadership. Together, we make supply chain transformation very powerful, using AI as a dominant technology. I really enjoy sharing my thoughts and ideas and what's possible to make the next generation supply chains powerful using AI as a dominant force. You can reach me on my LinkedIn ID, and also you can reach me on my email. Thank you. Really appreciate your time for listening. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you for sharing with us today. I know this virtual audience is giving you a huge virtual round of applause. We really appreciate you sharing with us today. For the audience, it's time for you to make your way to your next session. Along the way, make sure you accept your connection request and take some time to check out our amazing exhibits. Thanks so much, and we'll see you around.